Anna, you've been talking to local fire officials who see this as a big step forward to firefighter mental health, improving it.
Yes, suicide is a word some platforms are trying to censor. However, it's real and has a major impact on loved ones left behind. Data from the U.S. Fire Administration shows that approximately 100 firefighters die by suicide each year. I sat down with Corey Opper, whose brother was a firefighter, lifeguard, and Marine. He shared with us his struggle with mental health, which led to suicide.
This is actually where we had our last conversation.
Ink Factory Brewing, a local bar on Jack's Beach, usually filled with people celebrating happy times. But for Corey Opper, this bar holds the last memory of him seeing his baby brother.
It's one of those days that lives with you forever.
The day his brother Garrett Opper lost an ongoing war, which ultimately led to his suicide.
In the back of my mind was probably going to happen someday. There was nothing I could do to stop that. But when it actually happens, you're like, damn.
Corey says Garrett attempted suicide before, but his family and friends caught it and got him help. As we sat in Ink Factory Brewing, Corey shared the story of Garrett and how he was always a servant to his community. He worked as a lifeguard on Atlantic Beach, but at the age of 18 was when his mental health started to take a hit. That was when he was drafted to the Marines and was sent to Iraq 3 times.
His second tour in Iraq, he was part of a mass casualty event where about 10 Marines were killed, a bunch more were wounded. He was there during the event, wasn't physically harmed per se.
Physically, Garrett survived that day, but mentally, what he saw stuck with him. Despite everything he saw in combat, he continued to have an urge to help and protect others. So he joined the St. Johns County Fire Department.
Well, now you're taking your existing PTSD and it's being compounded.
Corey says things started off good for Garrett with the department. He loved it. But as time went on, Corey noticed how the job started to weigh down on his brother.
For me, there'd be those times you could see the pain in his eyes and you knew, like, hey, he was keeping something inside. And it wasn't something he shared with everybody all the time.
It's awful. So we've had 3 suicides in the last 2 years, I believe it is. It's devastating. There's a problem in the fire service.
A problem that firefighters have noticed for years, but growing at an alarming rate. Burnout, trauma, and stress, all significant factors threatening the mental health of firefighters. David Stevens, president of St. John's Fire Union, tells me it goes deeper than this.
When you look at being a firefighter, I think people always have this image of going and helping their community, and we do that, but there's a downside to that. Firefighters are at risk for cancer, heart disease, depression, suicide. Almost 1/3 of our department is utilizing the mental health services that the department provides. 1/3 of our firefighters in some form or fashion have said, I need someone to talk to.
And when we spoke with Kelly Dobson, the president of Jacksonville's fire union, he says the firefighters in Jacksonville are battling the same. During his career, he has known of 2 firefighters in Jacksonville who died by suicide.
You don't know how each individual, when they get hired, how they'll be affected by, let's just call it what it is. No human being is supposed to see some of the things that our firefighters see.
Suicides have surpassed line of duty deaths now.
According to Rudderman White Paper on Mental Health and Suicide of First Responders, the suicide rate for firefighters is 18 per 100,000 compared to 13 per 100,000 for the general public. These numbers caught the attention of Florida lawmakers. Florida Representative Erica Booth introduced House Bill 929, which is designed to enhance the safety, health, and well-being of firefighters across the state. One of the key components of this bill is the requirement for fire departments to report firefighter suicides.
Right now you can tell how many firefighters hurt their shoulder on the job, but we don't know how many have taken their lives.
Have all members voted?
115 yeas, 0 nays, Mr. Speaker.
The bill soared through the Florida House and Senate and is now waiting for the signature of Governor Ron DeSantis. But back here in Jack's Beach, as we sat in Ink Factory Brewing with Corey.
There was a guy that actually wore this helmet, and he's not here anymore, you know?
He gathered the strength to tell us about his brother in hopes no one else does the same.
You think about it every day, you know? You think about, oh man, I miss my brother, my mom, looking at my mom go through this process has probably been the hardest thing. Just hear her be sad all the time. So, it's not been an easy process by any means.
Corey holds on the memory of the last day he saw his brother alive here in this bar where they talked about surfing, yoga, and the future. As he poured the beer that was created in Garrett's name, Geo Sessions, a hazy IPA, he also shared with us the annual run they do in Garrett's honor to remind everyone life comes with challenges, but it does go on.
Anyone that's out there and you are having these thoughts and, you know, you feel like you do want to take your own life, it's like, hey, like, yeah, that's the end for you, but everyone around you is going to be hurting. That pain will always be there, you know?
Not only was Garrett a Marine, lifeguard, and firefighter, but he was also a teacher for special education. Since Garrett's passing, the bar has created a beer each year where the proceeds go to mental health-based nonprofit. This year, it's the North Florida School of Special Education. Reporting, Brianna Brownlee, Channel 4, the local station.
What a tremendous loss to our community. If you or someone you know is in crisis, call 988 to reach the Suicide and Crisis Lifeline. You can also call the network previously known as the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline by dialing 800-273-8255 or text HOME to 741-741.